Business with a servant's heart. Welcome to the podcast. Inspiration, motivation takes. Listen to the podcast. We're all about to talk about life. Our guests will share their life story. We want you to success in life and business. We're ready and we will start shortly. We're gonna talk about life. We're going to speak on business. You're gonna shine bright. We are going to witness. Business with a servant's heart. With hosts Steve, Ramona, and Ray. Inspiration, education talks. Listen to the podcast.
Welcome, everyone, to Doing Business with a Servant's Heart podcast. I am your host, Steve Ramona. I am extremely excited, thrilled, happy that you joined us today. Today, we're dedicated to exploring the idea of doing business and your life with a servant's heart. What kind of impact, what kind of difference can you make doing that? And we created a show to motivate you, inspire you, and educate you through these wonderful, incredible guests that I have to help you with your world to make an impact. Can you imagine you learn something from my guest today, and you're going to learn a lot, by the way, and you go out today and take that knowledge and give it to somebody else? You just impacted your world. You do that every day, all bets are off. And in that mode of thinking impact, think about how you're going to serve yourself and others today and what impact you create today. And I say today because people wait. I do it every day. I try to find ways to serve people. Podcasts like I'm doing today is one of those ways. We all can do this. It doesn't take money. It just takes the mindset of going, hey, I want to be a good person today and help somebody. So let's do that today. And today's episode is proudly sponsored by our incredible partner, Pantheon Alliance. Imagine being part of this exclusive community of high-income, successful business owners and entrepreneurs from very diverse industries. Together, they're building a thought leader platform to impact and change the world. So that's something you're interested in. Reach out to me and I'll get you all the information you need for that. Now, in regards to impact and change and doing good, talking to my guests in the green room before the show, I am pumped because talking about somebody that pivoted, but now is really making even a bigger difference in the world than she was before. So let's welcome Kate to the show.
Hello. How are you?
You have so much energy. And I've got to say, audience, her first question to me is why she's so powerful. What are you celebrating today? Within a minute of meeting her, that's what she asked. Audience, that's a servant's heart because she meant it.
What are you all celebrating today?
Yeah.
As an audience, what are you celebrating? Like, let us know. I'm curious. Yeah.
Comment on the YouTube channel. I'll get that to Kate. Yeah, that's a great question. Tell us what you're celebrating today or when you're listening to this recording. It could be next week, the week after. But what are you celebrating while you're listening to this? Great, great question. Love it. Now, self-care has been a part of your life that I've read through your bio. How important was it for you? What did you learn from your self-care?
So I think I always had this understanding that, you're supposed to get some good sleep and you're supposed to move your body and you're supposed to generally eat healthy.
Right.
But, self-care didn't really become like a buzzword probably until the last 10 years and then very specifically in the last 4 to 5 years. And I always had a movement background and I took that for granted for a long period of time because it was just a part of my life. And moving into those COVID years and not having the connection to movement that I thought I would always have, and the interacting with other people the way I had, it made me begin to look at self-care. And at the time I was primarily a Pilates and movement instructor too, and seeing the impact that, was happening around the world because we were staying home and I mean, taking care of ourselves and taking care of others because of that. But then stepping back and noticing that self-care is not just those 3 things. It is how you think about yourself. It's the people you surround yourself with. It's the mindset you have towards your life and how you're going to like approach your goals. And then honestly, it's a lot about your schedule, and you can, because that is what is going to determine what this time that you are given, where you're putting that. And we can always make more money, we can always find different friends, we can move to new places, we can try different types of movement, but we're never really going to get more time. And so how you really define what is going to be a part of your day, who is going to be a part of your day, and how you hold yourself accountable to that is, I think, one of the biggest changes you can make in your life, because it all boils down into your time. So that's where I really have been focusing a lot of my self-care talk, is because one, we don't hold ourselves accountable to our own care unless we determine that we are going to stick to the schedule that we have given ourselves. But by doing that, not only are you definitely caring for yourself and you're holding up boundaries for yourself and for other people, you are building your confidence, you are reaching goals faster, you are developing a vision about your life, and it all plays out in the day to day.
You know, Kate, I love it, because we got to start with ourselves. It's funny, I answered that question, you brought it up, because in the beginning, I always say, and I changed my monologue because I said, you need to serve yourself first, because you can't take care of yourself, self-care, self-aware. How am I going to help
Yeah.
you? You know, if I have
Yeah.
these evils and things in my head or these problems, I'm not thinking about helping you. I'm thinking about how I got to take care of myself first, right? Love it.
Yeah,
Love it.
exactly. And so much of that we take, I mean, we take for granted how much
Yeah.
sleep can calm all of the stuff going on in our head, how much maybe staying away from social media for a while can calm our head. And all of those moments build a little bit more quiet into your life that creates the awareness that you need to, if you want to change how your life is going.
Yeah.
Because you aren't aware of how your body feels, you aren't aware of your goals if there's just constant chaos coming in every minute of the day. And so I really self-awareness, both physically and mentally, even though there's really no separation, but physically and mentally is a key factor to that self-care.
Yeah, and there's different tools for those, and that's kind of what they're the same, but your mental might be breathing and meditation, physical might be working out, go
Yeah.
for a walk or whatever. And I love that distinction. And what's unique about you, a lot of people have pivoted because of COVID. A lot of people went out of business. A lot of
Mhm.
pivoting going on. When I mentioned this today, I laughed at myself. I'm laughing out loud because your pivot is unbelievable. Speaking of self-care, you went from the entertainment industry, being a celebrity assistant, to now working with people with their self-care and wellness. What did you learn from
Yeah.
all that? I guess I could say craziness.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, the entertainment industry is amazing.
Yeah.
If you have any desire to like jump into that, I strongly like applaud you, and like, yes, do it. Explore opportunities that are new to you and explore things that light you up. And that's what I did for most of my career. I worked in theater and TV and
Mhm.
film and music. And one of the biggest things I learned, especially with as a celebrity personal assistant and then as a sort of a tour manager and a music manager, I was responsible for someone else's or multiple people's priorities around their self-care. I was guarding their time to make sure they had the time to create the art they need to create. They had the space that nobody else was allowed in before their show. They had the schedule, they had the support that was going to help them be the magic that
Mm.
everybody expected them to be. And it was it's it's addicting being in that world because you want to be able to be a part of the magic and you have access to the magic daily, and yet you're the one maintaining it all. And like myself and like many people I know in that world, we slowly start letting our boundaries down and doing more and more for the people who are creating the magic, to the point where I personally, I didn't know what I wanted in my life anymore. I just had this like, oh, this is kind of what I think I should be doing because this is what I've always done. And I just couldn't, I didn't feel like myself. And there was one point actually where I stopped calling myself Super Kate. I stopped introducing myself as Super Kate because I no longer felt I earned that name. I was like kind of a shell of myself. And that was really like the biggest start of the whole burnout, because I had ditched my movement. I had very few boundaries to speak of. I wasn't sleeping much anymore. And everything I did was existing to make all of this other stuff happen for everybody else. And so I like that position ended, and I just said, I have to go in a different direction. And I ended up getting back into my body because that's what felt like home to me. And I studied Pilates and I became a Pilates and movement, personal trainer, and felt like I was regaining my strength again, physically and, just emotionally. But I realized through all that we haven't, as a society, and I think this was like the sort of a general thing that we all learned within the COVID ongoing years, is we haven't been protecting and taking care of ourselves. But that's not just the movement, that is the boundaries, that is the, what do we need? We don't really owe anybody else anything. We have to protect ourselves because we're given this one incredible life. I mean, however it's playing out for you right now, it's such an impossible life that we have. Like the impossibility of us existing, of humans existing, of the earth existing. It's so impossible that I don't want to do this for somebody else's life anymore. I have a mission, and I want people to feel they can do anything. And so let's get there. Let's build the self-awareness. Let's build the schedule. Let's get you moving in your body, learning about yourself more, because there's just so little time to have such an incredible life and to impact others and to evolve as humans.
Yeah.
I really went off right there.
No, I'm glad you did, because what I think the audience is getting, if they're not, is you made that decision. You could have said, I don't want to go on my own. I'm secure. Money's probably pretty good. It's, all that stuff that draws you as a magnet to that. You said, my body and myself is more important than all that. And audience, you hear that lesson. That's a huge lesson from Kate, because people are in that decision almost daily. Do I stay at this?
And don't get me wrong, there's moments where I still am like, man, it would be great to just go back into the arts, because there was such accessibility, and I had, maybe I've learned enough lessons now that it'll be different. But I get to define what I accomplish now. I get to define who I can be with and how I move my life forward, instead of, and I'm not begrudging anybody who wants to do it for somebody else. Like, work for other people if you believe in the vision, and if that's really driving you, absolutely do that. This is just what I have been called towards, and I didn't realize I could do it myself, instead of like the impact and the change that I was helping create through other artists. I'm gonna do that myself now. And that's pretty scary and amazing.
Yeah, there you go. Both sides of the fence there. It's you hop back and forth. And if you're an entrepreneur and want to be, with the lessons she's done, you're going to be uncomfortable. I felt it. You're feeling it. And it's going to go away and come back, go away and come back if you feel good. And by the way, if everybody became an entrepreneur, who's going to do our 8 to 5s? Who's going to be at the admin at that lawyer's office? Who's going to sell us retail at a, so I love that. There's a place for everybody, but make sure it's a place you love. That the love coming out of you is so powerful. I was just gonna say I love it because it really is.
Yeah.
I can feel it. So let's take that. Now you take us a journey through your clients, what you do with your services and how you help them with their self-care and other things.
Yeah. So a few of my clients I started primarily with in a movement capacity, and others I have moved in more as a let's really like who are business owners, whether they're entrepreneurs or they just own businesses that they have taken over. Let's look at what is working in your life and where you feel you want to change, because clearly you're coming to me and something is shifting for you. So, what is working in your life, and then what does no longer feels like it's fitting? And how can we look at your schedule and look at the position that you're in at work and who you are in your home life to determine what needs to shift. And sometimes it's just they need to spend more time with family. And so we need to define how can we delegate more time at work to or more tasks at work to other people and move that so that you have more time at home. And other times it's I just need a change and my body is in chaos. And so I'll work with people to just begin moving their body, even if they are somebody who has already been like an athlete and a mover in their life. We just start slowing things down. And in that slowing down and the breathing and the paying attention, what is, what muscles are firing right now? Why could those be firing? Have you felt this pain before? Is it related to a specific type of stress that you are often under?
Yeah.
But through that, and then through the acknowledgement that they, as much as they love running everything, because I think we all are, a lot of us are anyway, very type A and love to do all of the things ourselves. We have to learn to ask for help, and we have to learn to let others be our support. And so then that delegation, and whether it's a restructuring of the business, but really defining how do they want their day to be spent? What is their ideal, day-to-day activity? And how can we begin moving to that
Yeah.
point?
I like that. And I think people too listening, they're thinking about going from an 8 to 5 job to entrepreneur. You'd be a great resource as well because you've done it.
Yeah.
Is that
Yes.
an ideal
Yes.
client too? And I
Yeah.
love the movement part because you hear it. So my background is health clubs. Me and my family owned health clubs for 22 years. So you're speaking
Yeah.
my language and get me so excited because for me, it's easy to move. I've been doing for 30, 40 years. So I know I can jump on my treadmill, do whatever I do. Is movement something that people should go out, whether it's you or somebody else, to help them get started, maybe make them accountable?
I think it's a great place to start, even if it's just walking around the block. Um, it, because we often think, oh, I have to do this thing because a friend of mine is doing it, or oh, this is the latest trend, or oh, I used to do this, and so then I have to do this again. But we change throughout our lives, and what may light you up isn't going to light up your friends. And the more you go with the thing that is going to bring you a little more peace is kind of the direction I like turning people towards at first, especially if they feel like they're really chaotic, because that then will open up. Once you dial back the chaos, you have a little bit more space then to, okay, no, I actually do like that thing that my friends are going to, but I want to go there because I'm excited about it, not because I feel obligated to, because that's the thing that they want to, because again, the more we feel obligated, the more we assign an intention to our time that is somebody else's intention. That's when we start resenting things. That's when more chaos comes in or stays in our lives. So try to find the thing that's going to bring you the peace, but also like bring you the joy.
Yeah. Well, and chaos and time are lost when they try to do it themselves. Some of you can do it. You can Google, and I'm not a big fan of all this, but not little, but the money you spend to change your self-care will make you a lot more money down the road because you're going to be more and all that stuff. Can
Yeah.
you tell us, I'm super excited to ask this, a great story of somebody you work with?
um, all right. I mean, gosh, okay. This is this is I was once interviewed for as a to be a sound engineer on a animation, and let's just say it was a very famous uh, stop motion animation on Adult Swim. And I was very nervous going into it, honestly, but because I didn't think I had the skills going into it. But I met with the producer, we had a great interview, and then she said, "Oh, would you like to meet the creators?" And one of the creators is a like one of my favorite actors from back in the day. And so I went in like, but of course at that point I was used to working with celebrities. And so you can't go in with the, oh my gosh, you're so and so. You go in with kind of a, we're all just people and this is just who we are today. And I went into that room and he was in the sound booth and I was like, oh my gosh, okay. Hey, how's it going? I'm Super Kate. And he did this like, I'm gonna fight you kind of motion. And I was like,
Ooh.
all right, well, I'm gonna fight you too. And and so and so he started like mimicking as though he was taking off his belt. And I was like, well, I just happened to have a belt on that day, which was rare for me. So I started taking off my belt and I was like, let's go, let's do it. And that is like honestly one of my favorite moments of my life because it and then of course we calmed down and everybody was okay. And but I think that like I was one just had the opportunity to walk into a room and experience that sort of normalcy in a space that a lot of people wouldn't have walked into. And two, because I knew I was going to be fine if I was just myself. And so I showed up and I was
Mm.
just my fun, playful self. And that's what got that's what got me the job. It wasn't that, you know, I was the best at what I did. I wasn't, but I made them feel like they were, you know, they were just
Yeah,
other people.
they wanted
So
to work with you. That was the
yeah,
thing. They loved your attitude, your
yeah,
mentality. And that's a great lesson for people. Be yourself. And again, if it's Bradley Cooper, he's just a person. Yeah, he's a
yeah,
famous person. He's done some great things, but that's a great lesson when you meet people like that. And it doesn't have to be somebody famous. It could be your boss. The same
yeah,
mentality. Have fun, be playful, be positive like you were. Good things are going to happen from that. Then like, oh my God, it's my boss. And then you're overthinking everything. Oh, I just said that word. I should stop that. Just be yourself. Hey, you get the job or you don't. If you didn't get the
exactly,
job, you just
exactly.
go find another job. I mean, I hate to simplify it, but really, that's the whole point.
Yeah, yeah. And we're all going to have a lot of rejection in our lives. I've had
Yeah.
rejection, plenty of
Right.
it,
Oh
but
yeah.
you know, there's also another awesome opportunity out there that will probably be better than what you thought.
I love
So,
that because you know what I do when I get rejection, I just in my head say next.
yeah,
Big lesson I had to learn. That's what you did. Hey, I got this. If it didn't work it here, next, what's my next thing lined up? Okay, I'll go try it. It makes life so much better. It makes your self-care. Let's go back and finish
yeah,
up with that. It's so good. We've come
yeah.
to the end here. I knew time would fly because one, you're so smart and so fun, which I
Thank
love.
you.
So before we finish, I got a great question for you. You have a reservation at a restaurant, table of four.
Mhm.
Of course,
Yes.
you're going to sit in one chair, the other three chairs. Who would you invite, dead or alive? Why would you invite them? And what food would you order?
Oh my. Okay. Um, wow.
Tough one,
I
I
feel
know.
like you have to give me a theme because there's so many different, like, there's like the
Okay,
political side of me, there's the fun entertainment side of me. Like,
let's take
which
one
dinner
from
am I
each.
having?
One from political, one from fun,
Okay.
and one from family. How's that work?
Okay. All right. Um, we're gonna go political. I wanna right now I wanna say Eleanor Roosevelt. I've always had found her fascinating. Um, you said family
Yeah, let's pick a
or
family. Yeah, family.
okay. All right. Then I'm gonna go with my dad because he really loved conversations and asking people questions. So it would drive the conversation. And then I'm gonna go entertainment. Hmm. Um, oh my gosh. Okay, getting stuck.
It's okay.
Yeah, I know there's no uh shoot. Oh my gosh, I wish you'd given me this question before. I would have come with a better answer or a
No,
faster answer, I should say.
you take your
Um,
time.
yeah,
Someone
okay.
that pops in your head.
Yeah, uh uh uh, uh Baker, um Josephine Baker.
Oh, wow. Okay.
There we go.
No
Yeah.
wonder why it took so long. That's a pulling out of the hat the hat. That was awesome.
She had such an interesting life and did so many like cool little spy stuff, but she was such a beautiful artist at the same time.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
cool. And her and Eleanor would have great conversation with your dad.
Yeah.
It'd be a great table. What are we eating? What are you
Oh,
ordering for
eating,
food?
right. Eating. Okay. Uh, we're gonna go with some savory crepes
Ooh,
and some some apple pie from my mom because that was my dad's favorite.
oh my gosh. I have to get another chair for me. I love crepes. I just started eating them. They're so good. Not so good for you, but they're a great treat. They're a great,
Yeah.
your cheat, whatever you want to call it. Super Kate, I'm going to call you that because you are super. I want to
Thanks.
thank you so much. You were such an incredible guest. I
I-
thank you for being transparent and humble. Your passion to help people and being a servant's heart is definitely out there in spades, and I love it. Now, people listening are probably going, how do I connect with Kate? How can they find you and support you?
Yeah, you can find me on my website, thesuperkate.com. And I say the, but it's just one E, thesuperkate.com. Or Instagram, I'm the_superkate. And I'm on LinkedIn as Superkate Slepachka. Yeah, I'm kind of all over the socials. You can book like I have a free 15-minute call if you want to just talk and figure out if my services are a match for what you need. If not, I will do my best to find you somebody who would be best for you. And I try to put out good tips here and there on my socials, or you can just join my newsletter and hear what I got going on from time to time.
Great. And we'll have all that audience in the show notes. You'll be able to access to it. And I'll tell you what, I would take advantage of that 15-minute call because the worst that's going to happen, you can come out feeling better about yourself and smiling. And who
Yeah.
couldn't use that for 15 minutes a week or just, one time and see if it's a fit? And you never know. The other thing is subscribe to the YouTube channel. And here's why. It's much different than people think. If you resonate with some of this stuff, like I do with Kate's mentioned, Super Kate, Now you have access to her when you subscribe. It's free, so it's not going to cost you. But more important, you have access to go back to it. And I suggest if a podcast resonates with you, go back and listen to it over and over. You're going to pick up other tips. But even more important, a family or friend might need this. They need to move. They need more self-care. They need somebody that's accountable like Super Kate can be. Just share the podcast and people can listen for 5, 10, 15, or the whole show and go, yes, I resonate with her. How do I connect with her? Or they can go through the show notes. So guess what you're doing? What I'm building is your way to service other people by using the podcast. And it's some people are doing it, but not enough. That's the power of the podcast. And then the last thing, comment on the YouTube channel. Comment, what are you celebrating today when you listen to this? Comment for Super Kate. I'll get those comments to her if she doesn't have access, and critique this podcast. For me and Super Kate, it's all about you, the audience. If I can make it better and we're motivating, inspiring, and educating you, game changer. We're super happy because that's the goal. And as always, me and Super Kate want to thank you so much for watching or listening to this podcast. We'll see you on the next episode of Doing Business with a Servant's Heart.
Thank you.